Good afternoon, good morning. Anybody know what time it is? It's JacQueline with Intuition Power and Stuart Elliott from Guilin, China, from CoachStuart.com. And here we are with an
Sounds like you're
echo
talking
from
to yourself.
those surprising moments that are kind of shocking,
Mhm.
just
No, I
like the
mean,
title. The
there's
title of
so many times where something just happens so unexpectedly, and it could be in day-to-day life, or it could be in a coaching session or whatever. But it can change the whole outlook of that day, can't it?
perception. I just sent a client a little 3-minute clip of I'm trying to encourage him. I'm working on encouraging him to start exercising so he can ride his motorcycle because he's been kind of taken out through medical procedures because of a bike accident. It was not his fault. It took him out for like almost a year and a half. We're in recovery, and he needs to get back in strength and everything. So I sent him a little video, and it was a woman and a at a gym trying to do a pull-up, and she was having trouble, and this guy starts recording and goes, I don't know if I should say anything to her, and walks over and says, excuse me, would you like a little tip of technique? And she goes, well, sure. So he gets up and he goes, if you just lift your chest and go forward and do this with your stomach, and it'll help you do this. So he jumps down and she gets up and she instantly does like 3 pull-ups. And she jumps down. She goes, oh my God, I had no idea I could do it. I can do it. It's like that technique was amazing. And I send it to my client saying, get a specific type of coach. And, because I know he would probably just go, when he finally joins the gym, he'll just do it himself. I go, no, you just get it. Look at how much it'll help you. Well, he interpreted it as this whole thing with men and women and how it could lead to a lawsuit and all this stuff. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And I said, let me explain to you why I sent it to you. It's like, because somebody that really knows the gym and techniques might help you perform better and accelerate, like get a coach.
Yeah.
And he just went on and on about how people could get sued for doing something like that.
Yeah.
And it
It
was
just
like, I I could see where he was coming from, but I didn't see it coming.
yeah. I mean, it's people sometimes their mind is stuck in one direction of thinking, and that limits them, and this is why we need coaches to help break out of that, narrow focus. It's like wearing blinkers.
Right, right. So for anybody who's listening, if you've been saying you want to do something, get something done, or make a change, and you haven't gotten it started, or you've started and you keep falling off the bandwagon kind of thing, then pay attention to the rest of this. So, Stuart, explain how you work with people in those kind of situations.
Well, one of the ways is what we call is to recreate a magic moment in their lives. So, for instance, I had a lady, she was middle-aged. She was feeling totally lost at work. She had her job involved doing a lot of presentations and teaching other groups of people. And she was just totally, at the end of a tether. To make it worse, her relationship had just broken up, and she'd just recently broken her foot in half, and she just lost her mojo, everything. So I offered her a magic moment, and she was curious because she said, "This sounds just like me. I need this." And we I asked her to Just think of something that was very, very exciting where you just burst out into crazy laughter in your life. And she came up with something, some presentation she did. And as she was talking, I knew it wasn't the one. And then she stops and she said, yeah, no, this isn't the real one. I said, well, just go back a bit further, just think again. And then all of a sudden, she came up with this big, raucous grin and started laughing loud. I said, what just happened? She says, no, I was having a forbidden pillow fight. And she really emphasized forbidden. So I knew this is the one. And it turns out she was about 7 years old and she was having a pillow fight with her brother. And they were having a whale of the time. And of course, the parents, da, 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 stop, 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 whole thing, which
You're
made it
right.
even more fun. So I took the emotion and revivified it for her and, made it so strong and then anchored it so she could repeat it at any time she wanted. And then, I said to her, whenever you feel doubt or whatever, and by the way, I said, when you're giving a presentation, you don't have to dance like Rudolph Nureyev. You can still give the presentation, with the foot that's not quite as strong as it used to be. And she was happy with that. I said, but whenever you do, just think of this anchor, trigger it, and then whoof, all that emotion will come back. And she did that, and she was so happy. And I said, by the way, just remember that pillow fight. Whenever something vexes you, you've always carrying this metaphorical pillow that you can go whack and knock it away anytime you want to. And she went off like, it was like, she just won the lottery 500 times over. She was really having fun. It changed her whole life.
That's
And that took
awesome.
less than 15 minutes. And that's
Yeah,
what's so special about these magic moments. They can happen in an instant.
right. I had taken a 3-day training on specific type of uh, kinesiology, muscle monitoring, connecting with emotions, and how to help somebody shift their emotion dramatically, especially long-term patterns, reaction patterns. And sure enough, the next day after the 3-day program was over, the guy left, and a colleague of mine came in and was screaming furious, not at me, it was a network group. We had a team, and the team leader was a problem for all of us, and very annoying, and oftentimes. And he walks in, and she had just done some stuff. I heard what happened, and it was bad. And he was screaming, beet red. And I'm going, well, okay, I understand, but you shouldn't be that upset. It's not that new. It's like, rah, rah, rah. And he's like beet red, screaming. And I said, do you want to and I'm thinking, oh, this is just exactly what I learned over the weekend, how to deal with these patterns. Anyway, the third time I yelled in his face, do you want to resolve the issue? And all of a sudden he heard me and goes, yes. Sit down. So I do the tap here, tap here, tap here, say this, tap here, say that, tap here, say that. And all of a sudden, I think it was maybe 4 minutes of work. He goes like, and it was like such a violent, like head to toe. And like I'm watching this, and all of a sudden he looks at me, takes a deep breath, and he gets hysterical laughing. And I said, and it was, one of those contagious laughs where you can't help but laugh along. And I'm trying to say to him, think about the problem. And I can't even get it out of my mouth because for whatever reason, we're hysterical laughing. And finally the third time, it's like, think about the problem. And he goes, I am thinking about the problem. And he completely shifted. It's like those masks of the actor mask with the actor, smile, and then the other one
Is it
is the
Noah
frown.
Mask or something like that? Yeah, I know the ones you mean. Yeah.
Right. But there's so many different methods to use
Mhm.
to help someone make that shift and do it not just superficial, like in the moment, but at
Yeah,
a
so it's
core,
lasting deep. Yeah.
core level. And it's it, people, a lot of people are so untrusting of
Mhm.
that's not possible, or it doesn't exist, or show me the science, as opposed to, you're trying to trick me like
Yeah.
a stage magician. You're trying to trick me. Yeah, well, here's your bracelet that you were wearing. That's a good trick. It's like, how did you get that off? You weren't even touching me. It's like, yeah, it's my bracelet.
Mhm.
So there are professionals that know how to steal things. No, um, how to really help empower someone through
Mhm.
history, through their own history. Like that's what you do a lot. And
Yeah, and one of the funny things is we don't think about it, but we can, should we say, embed a negative thing in split seconds. And if we have that ability, why can't we release it just as quickly? And people
yeah,
can't see that. And we
you're
can, and it's been proven. Sometimes it can be, just one word. You can just say something, you're talking with someone and you just go, really? And it stops them dead in their tracks, and they look at themselves, internally, and think about what they're talking about, and then they break out in laughter because they realize that they're talking nonsense just from one word in one, and then the whole life of them changes,
I love
and
the
it's
fact that
beautiful.
you use that word yet, adding
Yeah,
yet to, like,
yeah,
I haven't been able to do this. And then you insert yet,
yeah, and
and
it
it
changes your thinking.
opens up parameters of possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
and it shifts to kind of like the Edison of, it took 99 or whatever number of
Yeah,
attempts he
10,000.
did.
The common thing is 10,000 ways it didn't work, rather
Okay.
than 10,000 failures or something
And
like that. That's what a lot
he
of
was
people
able to
talk
look at each attempt, instead of each attempt was a failure, each attempt
about.
was a learning process, getting him
Experience.
one
Yeah.
step closer
Mhm.
to the success. And we all want instantaneous success here and now. And um,
Yeah, the challenge is when you're looking for something like that, you push it away, you know? There was a beautiful, beautiful magic moment that happened one night when I was about 18 years old. My friends and I, we went to this pub, or, as people in America would call it, a bar, but we went to the pub and we ordered some beers and walked back to the seats with full pint beers. In the UK, they usually have them brim full. And we sat down, but my friend thought he was sitting on a chair and they were stools. So he sits down with the beer in his hand
and he
and
leans
leans
back.
back and did a full backward somersault.
Oh my
And then
God.
he was sat on the floor and not a single drop of beer had spilt out of his glass. And he's looking, he couldn't believe it. And we couldn't believe it. It was like that moment. And then we all burst out laughing. And the landlord came over and he was laughing his ears off. He said, if you can do that again, I'll give you free beer for life.
Right. I was,
And
I
that
was,
night was magic. It was beautiful because of that one thing. And how the heck he did it, we've got no idea. But he said to himself, I'm not going to lose this beer.
right. So I was at a conference, and there were, this was going back into the, 1980s, and it was a breakout session from the Whole Life Expo, and it's a kind of a new age thing in Los Angeles. And there were major author celebrities,
Mhm.
Manly Palmer Hall, there was Gene Houston, there were a bunch of name people, very public authors, successful, and they were having this breakout room for metaphysics or psychics, and they were and they were giving awards to this. There must have been about only maybe 150 people in this room. Luckily, it was so there was a stage, and there was the MC, and he announces the next guest celebrity speaker, and he backs up, and there's a chair right at the back of the stage, and right behind him are glass windows with drapes, and they were double Dutch French windows, so they would open outward. And as the person is getting up to the microphone, he sits down at the back of the stage, and the back leg of the chair starts to tilt him backwards. And it was like in slow motion, and he was going, whoa, as the chair tilted. And all of a sudden it falls backwards, the French doors open, and he and the chair falls out the window in slow motion, right? And we're all like, luckily, right outside the window were hedges, and he was on the first floor. So he fell into the hedges. and so anyway, the windows popped open, his chair goes out, and we're all like, what just happened? So about 30 seconds later, a minute later, he pops back into the room, and he runs to the microphone, and he says, with all you psychics, you think somebody would have warned me? So it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it changes the whole evening, though, doesn't it? Something like that. My father, I remember he went out one evening for a business meal with a whole group of people, and they were sat at the table, and he was talking to the person next to him, and somebody at the other end of the table just says, "Chuck me the salt." So without thinking, my father picks the salt up and throws it down the table to this guy. And it's like a look of shock in his face. And then he looks in his hand, and there's the salt in his hand. He caught it. He doesn't know how, but the whole night was just, it just breaks that spell, that magic.
Like
and it makes a difference in your life, because you carry it with you forever, don't you?
Right. So magical moments happen spontaneously. They happen, oftentimes you don't plan them.
No.
And but those events, and the positive events that we have experienced from birth, from even before birth, when you're in the womb, people that believe in past lives, from past lives, karma, and you've got positive and negative experiences that we all have. And the challenges, each of those memories act as a foundation, and we keep building on them. And a lot of times, when you get to, oh, that problem happened a month ago, and I got therapy and I got it resolved, but that wasn't the cause. The cause might have happened when you were 7 years old, or 12, or 17, missing a graduation, or doing something and feeling like you were a fool at a falling down right as you get the diploma, or whatever may have happened, or seeing someone else do that, and ridiculing or something. So to be able to get to the core, the bottom foundation, and once you clear and clean that up, everything else falls into place. And it's not wiping your memory at all. It's just disconnecting the heavy emotional pattern
Yeah, and
Sometimes,
that emotion, we build on it, don't we? We keep repeating it and building it and making it stronger and stronger and stronger. And
right,
quite often, when you really look at it from an outside perspective, the incident wasn't that bad, but we've created that thought. And when we put it into its proper perspective, then it just lets go of its power over us. And that's what's so beautiful about what you do and obviously what I do,
right,
because we're able to connect them to the reality. Okay, it was a little bit, embarrassing at the time, but it was nothing special. I mean, I remember once I was, and I laugh at it now, but at the time I was a little bit sort of very embarrassed about it. I was walking past this sauna to go for a drink. And there was a couple of girls in there, and I was about 17. So I'm walking past looking like this at the window, and I walked straight into a lamppost. And the girls were killing themselves. They thought it was hilarious. I didn't think so at the time. But afterwards, I was able to laugh at it. But I could easily have amplified that and said, I'm a fool, and made it worse and worse. And then I could have, shut myself away for a long time. And that's what people do.
right.
They
So
amplify it without thinking.
how do people get in touch with you? Stuart has a complimentary talk session that is
Mhm.
extremely effective, and sometimes it leads to more sessions, but a lot of times, based on talking to people, that's all they needed, and he's
Yeah,
not even
they just
charging
have
for that.
a
So how do
fresh
people get in
perspective.
touch with you?
Just go to my website, coachstewart.com, COACH.
Is that your music or mine?
That's your time.
Okay. So
So
say it again.
coachstewart.com, and then you'll see lots of buttons for a subconscious strategy session. Just click, and then you can find a time that suits you.
Okay, so do it this month while it's available. And I have an unposted Mother's Day special. So if you're interested in a intuitive, psychic, accurate reading for yourself or for your mom or whoever, then send an email to coach@intuitionpower and just put Mother's Day, and I will then send
Yeah,
something.
coach@intuitionpower.com.
Coach@intuitionpower.com. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you go to the website and put your name in the contact list, you will get some invitations, some from I change it from time to time what I give away on the for exchange for your contact list information, but usually it's tips and tricks about activating and utilizing your intuition to help you on either physical, emotional, mental clarity, forecasting, all different kinds of ways of using your mind and your psyche in a more self-empowering way. And these things are easy to learn and easy to develop. And once you develop them, they go on autopilot in the background, like you download an app and you learn some basic keys, and then all of a sudden you put it on running in the background and you don't even know it's there until you need it. It's like, flash this, pay attention. It's like, oh, okay. So there are some things there that you may want to explore. Intuitionpower.com and cosmiclightacademy.org. It's the same site. So with that, uh, keep making those magical moments, sometimes on purpose, sometimes by incident. And have a wonderful week, everybody. And you
Yeah.
too, Stuart, have a great
Yeah,
week.
and one last thing is, don't
Yes.
forget to share, because you never know who needs to hear.
Right. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your comments. And we really appreciate it. And be proactive. You never
Yeah.
know who this will land in their ears or their eyes. And it was like, oh, okay. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me, Stuart.
Yeah.
And
See you
have a
next
great